Good morning. Wildfires moving, new evacuations ordered, and people once again forced out of their homes. This morning we've got the latest for you on the efforts to get the flames under control.
Plus, Box tests positive. The state health commissioner says she's tested positive for COVID-19. An update on what's happening at the State House.
And feeling so cool! Seasonable and cool temperatures will set in this weekend at times. We're going to be dipping into the 30s. Our weather team has your weekend outlook. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal Weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
The Jonas Brothers starting off our Friday morning.
Tyler's
How amazing
pick.
is that? Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I love it. It's feeling so cool this morning. Not feeling like fall. It's feeling more like winter. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tyler Brummett. Happy to be back.
I'm Annie Keister. Yeah, welcome back, Tyler. It is cool. It was a little wet yesterday. Not looking for that to continue anymore.
Yeah, we're hoping that there are some warmer temperatures on the way. This morning we've got Jordan Wolf joining us. Hey there, Jordan. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Unfortunately, we're going to be seeing cool temperatures. Look at this. We're under a freeze warning right now until 10 a.m. across much of the region to our south, Indianapolis included in that as well. Look at the radar here. We've got showers pushing off to our south and east, and that's bringing all these cool temperatures up from the north, bringing them down into our area as well. Let's look at across the state temperatures around freezing through the entire state, lower 30s in all of that area. Let's look at the 24-hour temp change. Look at this. 30 degrees cooler in Muncie than we were this time yesterday. Absolutely crazy. That's why we have that freeze warning in place with temperatures below freezing. What we're tracking, though, coming up, this fall weather continuing, rain chances this week, and our dry September will be balanced out by rain later on this week. Thanks, Tyler and Annie.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Now, we do want to jump into some top stories this morning. Wildfires that have threatened the West Coast are now moving east. A large wildfire in Colorado is forcing more evacuations. The Cameron Peak fire is the largest in state history. Officials announced both mandatory and voluntary evacuations in the area. That's after strong winds fueled the fire, which burned more than 134,000 acres. The winds also created extreme fire conditions. It's 56% contained.
Meanwhile, at 8:03 now, a deadly wildfire in Northern California is 100% contained. The Zog fire killed 4 people and scorched more than 56,000 acres of land. It started on September 27th, and fire officials are still investigating the cause. However, a federal judge has ordered electric company PG&E to explain its role in the fire. Equipment owned by the company is being looked at as investigators work to determine that cause of the fire. The judge is giving the company 2 weeks to describe the equipment and when it was used.
And a drive home turned dangerous for one Henderson family after what looks to be a tornado passing over the highway. Caitlin Pinter spoke with the family.
Are you videoing it? I asked Annie, my wife, to get the phone to record it just in case something happened to us.
The Sunday family says they knew they were under a tornado warning, but never thought they'd actually drive through one.
And I could see in the distance some rotation, and then all of a sudden out from the trees come the tornado.
In the video, you see what appears to be a funnel cloud and then lots of debris washing through their windows of their truck while in the middle of Interstate 95 in Dillon, South Carolina, were Michael and Annie, their 2 kids and dog.
We thought it was going to pick the truck up, but it didn't, thank goodness.
The Sundays were driving home to Hendersonville from a weekend with family in Jacksonville.
But more heavy rain on the way.
The weekend was wet for many across the Carolinas as storms from remnants of Delta moved through, causing damage in parts of South Carolina. The Sundays say it happened so fast.
My wife was looking at her phone trying to figure out where is it coming from. Like, all right, tornado warning, but our alerts didn't tell us where.
They say minus some damage to their truck, they feel so lucky to have made it out safely.
I just thought we're all together. If something's going to happen, then we're all just going to be together, and it'll just be.
Caitlin Pinter.
Who's watching?
Jesus.
News 13.
And we're happy that the Sunday family is doing well this morning. We want to go overseas now. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited more typhoon-ravaged areas. Photos posted on state media Wednesday show him at a reconstruction site in a southern province. KCNA reported the military is building more than 2,000 new housing units in the area. Kim appeared to get emotional as he spoke at the 75th anniversary celebration of his country's Workers' Party. He spoke to a large maskless crowd in Pyeongchang about the tough times the country has gone through recently. The country has suffered damage during the typhoon season.
Harvest season forcing Delhi's air quality index to fall to poor, just short of very poor levels, the second lowest air quality level in India. Farmers in India frequently burn their leftover straw after harvesting the main crop. This is the worst air quality for the area since February.
Meanwhile, in Australia, the Great Reef Barrier has lost 50% of its coral in the last 3 decades. Experts say climate change is a key driver of reef disturbance. Coral reefs are some of the most vibrant marine ecosystems on the planet. Between 1/4 and 1/3 of all marine species rely on them at some point in their life cycle. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef. It covers nearly 133,000 square miles and is home to more than 1,500 species of fish, 411 types of hard corals, and dozens of other species. And just ahead here on your Friday morning, we're talking about the coronavirus a little bit. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box, she tested positive for COVID-19, and we're going to have the latest for you as concerns continue to grow about an outbreak possibly at the State House.
All that's after your weather now.
Coming up on 8:08 here on your Friday morning, that's a live look over part of campus. What a beautiful shot right there. As we can see there, the sun is making its way up. The day is just getting started, and hopefully it's a good day. But we do have to talk about some other headlines here, specifically the coronavirus. Indiana State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box says she has tested positive for COVID-19. Box says she's asymptomatic and may have contracted the virus after visiting extended family. In the briefing, she used the opportunity to warn others to not let their guard down.
Be careful. Please, please be responsible. And if there are people around you not being responsible, especially if they're people that you love and you're close to, point out to them the importance.
Governor Holcomb also defended the decision to move Indiana into Stage 5 of its Back on Track plan. He also extended the state's mask mandate until at least November 14th. Also, beginning today, if you're a Hoosier heading to the Windy City, you're going to have to quarantine after you arrive. Indiana has been added to Chicago's emergency travel order because of the rise in COVID-19 cases. People coming from Indiana will have to self-quarantine for 14 days. The order does not include those who commute from Indiana for either school or work, or those who are in the state for less than 24 hours.
And more on the coronavirus. More than 135,000 more deaths in the U.S. within the next few months. That's what the University of Washington is predicting in its most recent model, if behaviors don't change. John Lawrence reports.
COVID-19 isn't easing its grip on the United States.
We're not in a plateau, and we're certainly not going down. This virus is still very much among us.
This is going to be one of the most troubling times in our modern history.
Health experts say the U.S. is facing a COVID-19 surge one that could overwhelm hospitals.
Not only do we anticipate a fall and winter rise in the number of cases, I'm worried about the deaths significantly going up.
As more than 30 states in the U.S. have seen a rise in new COVID-19 cases in the past week, some medical setbacks. A trial for an antibody treatment from Eli Lilly is halted because of a possible safety issue. This comes one day after Johnson & Johnson said it's pausing an advanced clinical trial of a vaccine for a similar concern.
There are no quick fixes here. This is why we have to do science. I'm actually not discouraged by these, pauses. This is why we do clinical trials. We'll get it right, and we'll have great therapeutics. I'm not really worried about these, speed bumps.
That's why Americans are advised to not let their guard down over the next few months.
This virus can spread among families and friends if you take your mask off and you're primarily indoors.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
There are more than 38 million known cases of COVID-19 worldwide, according to Johns Hopkins University.
In travel news for you here this morning, a new study shows circulating air on airplanes is unlikely to spread COVID-19. The Department of Defense research says aircraft ventilation systems are effective at removing it from the air, but experts are skeptical. The study used a mannequin wearing a mask and assumed all passengers were also wearing masks and facing forward. Obviously, on actual flights, that is not the case at all. Passengers often move around the cabin where they could come into contact with the virus. It also did not simulate what would happen if a passenger coughed or breathed directly onto another passenger.
And the U.S. is seeing a resurgence of COVID-19 cases. And the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says small household gatherings are helping to drive it. Health officials have warned the spike in cases probably will worsen as cold weather prompts people to socialize indoors. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield said during a call with the nation's governors he's particularly concerned with Thanksgiving. Some health leaders are urging people to consider having a Thanksgiving lunch or dinner outdoors. If that's not possible, consider not having Thanksgiving with others who aren't in your immediate household. 8:12 on your Friday morning. It's chilly here in Indiana. What are we looking at nationally? Good morning, Morgan.
Conditions are definitely chilly around the country as well. If you look at these current temperatures in the 30s for the majority of the country, and as we push down to that outer rim outside of the blue, you can see temperatures in the 60s and 50s around the country. Now as we take a look at today's highs, things are going to warm up a little, but not too much, as highs are going to be in the 60s and 50s for the majority of the country. And as we turn on the radar, you can see out east, there's this line of storms and rain off on the east coast, but around other areas around the country, pretty dry, pretty clear. You can see some spotty snowstorms and snow potential off in Billings as well as Minneapolis. Now as we turn on these watches and warnings, the map gets pretty colorful as we look here at these watches and warnings. Heading out west here in California, there's a red flag warning for those fire and snowstorms, as well as you can see that snow potential off in southern Oregon as that frost warning is in effect. Zooming out to the Rockies, you can see definitely some snow impacting the Billings, Montana area. That's going to bring for some cooler temperatures for the next couple of days out in that area. And heading back to the Midwest, definitely some frost and freeze warnings out for this morning in this area. Now as we look at the precision cast and we time out some of that cooler weather, you can see by Friday evening, this evening, those storms and snow off in Billings is going to start to enhance, bringing that cooler weather off in Montana. And this system is going to gradually start to split heading into Saturday morning. You can see off in Minneapolis, some snow is going to start to move in, as well as down in Wyoming. Now, as we continue to move that clock forward, some of that snow and that system off in Minneapolis is going to push into Canada. Those lingering effects are going to start to move into the Midwest, and that's eventually going to bring some cooler air to us here in Indianapolis, as well as Muncie area, which Jordan will talk on briefly later in the forecast. With that, for tomorrow, conditions definitely going to be a little warmer, but not too warm across the country. We're looking at conditions in the 60s and 70s as we take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. So winter-like conditions around the country, but not what we would expect for this time of year.
I'm kind of upset with you because you said the four-letter S word, snow. Yeah, it's not the other one you were thinking of, but Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that snow. Hopefully it doesn't come here. Is that possible that it could make its way here into East Central Indiana?
More of less looking at rain and cooler temperatures.
All right, Morgan, thank you so much. We know that you'll keep us posted.
And in just a moment, get ready to rev up your engines, an event happening this weekend in Muncie.
Yeah, we're going to take you to one event and also show you a family's love for cars. That's after a message from Mitz. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitz will take you there.
Welcome back. It is 8:16 on your Friday morning. You can see it's beautiful. What you don't know is just how chilly it is out there.
Brr.
But for now, we're going to bring it back in here where it is nice and warm right here in the UML. This morning, Virgin Galactic announced that it is preparing for its first space flight from its base in New Mexico. The VSS Unity is set to take off from Spaceport America later this fall. It will be crewed by 2 pilots and carry 3 research payloads in the cabin. Virgin Galactic says safety is its top priority. A planned rehearsal of loading procedures will take place before the spaceflight.
Also in your science news here this morning, the work on subway systems for self-driving cars in Las Vegas could expand courtesy of Elon Musk. His business called The Boring Company, well, it doesn't seem to be boring at all, is already building an underground tunnel loop in the city of Las Vegas. Self-driving cars will use the Vegas loop to move people quickly from one part of the city to another. City leaders announced Musk wants to add on to the plan. Officials say he is filing for new permits in connection to the suggested additions. No word yet on when the entire loop could be finished. The loop for the city's convention center is scheduled to be done in January.
Panera Bread wants to know if your meal is climate friendly. The national chain is now labeling the meals on its menu that they say have a low climate impact. Panera is calling those meals cool food meals. The chain worked with the World Resources Institute to come up with the list. It includes favorites like the Chipotle chicken avocado melt, the 10 vegetable soup, and their broccoli cheddar soup. Panera says, in general, plant-based foods have a lower impact on the environment than meals with meat and dairy ingredients. According to Panera, they are the first national chain to add such labels, and more than half of its entrees actually fall into that category.
How interesting is that?
Making me hungry this morning.
Yeah,
already.
absolutely. And by the way, as we cruise into the weekend, tomorrow, one local event, it's still going to be going strong, despite the pandemic, which has obviously forced so many events to have to cancel or be altered in some way.
And waking up with Cardinal Weather's Brittany Dobbins shows us what we should expect.
Old-style cars, motorcycles, all things people will be able to find on Madison Street Saturday. Despite a couple road bumps in June from the pandemic, it's all green lights from here.
We've had, I think, bigger crowds because everybody was stuck at home, and this gives them a chance to get out.
Troy started the cruise in 2018 because of the love he has for cruising. It's even become a family trait.
It's kind of cool growing up and hearing him talk about cruising back in the day and stuff like that, and all the old cars and hot rods.
And now?
It's kind of cool to live it myself. It's kind of nostalgic in a way.
This Saturday will be a little different for Troy.
I'm normally cruising a Jeep Wrangler.
Instead, Troy can be spotted in a 1964 Mercury Marauder along with someone else.
Yeah, it's Fred.
The Waters say the cruise is for everyone, no matter the age.
I know a lot of people in the car community around here look forward to it.
But the best part is that
it's just kind of nice to see people enjoying themselves over it.
Hey, and more good news there. There's no charge to go to the cruise.
Yeah, shout out to our own Brittany Dobbins for that. If you would like more information, go to ballstatedaily.com. I was telling you during that story, I was kind of getting vibes of the movie Grease.
Fun.
A little bit.
I'm glad there's something everybody can go through, enjoy, and it's a little sad. It could be the last one, but
Yeah. Well, and also, you know what? We got chills. They're multiplying because of that cold weather. Jordan, take it away for us.
Thanks, guys. We are seeing those cool temperatures across the state. Look at this. In the low 30s across really the entire state. We're under a freeze warning through much of the area until 10 a.m. this morning. 24-hour temp change. Very much colder this time than we were yesterday. About 20 degrees or 30 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. Let's look at the radar here. We see these clouds pushing off to the south and east. Let's zoom out a little bit. Look at these showers that pushed through yesterday, bringing much cooler temperatures to us now is what we are seeing. Let's look at today though. 9 a.m. today, we're going to be up to 37 already, and then we're going to be getting up into the 50s by the rest of today. Look at that, winds coming out of the southwest about 10 to 15 miles an hour through the day as well. Overnight tonight, 34 for the low, clear skies, morning frost once again. Many of you might have seen that frost this morning. You can expect that once again tomorrow. Winds coming out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Let's take a look at precision cast. We're going to time out some of the chances for rain showers this week. On Friday evening, we're going to be seeing that line of clouds moving through. There could be an isolated rain shower in that, so don't hold off that possibility for those. Those clouds then move out, and then on Saturday evening going into Sunday morning, we will see some of those clouds return. Likely not a chance for rain showers there on Saturday. Look at this, Saturday 63 degrees for the high, winds coming out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles an hour. Could be gusting up to 25 though, so keep that in mind. Make sure to hold on to your hats on Saturday. Let's look at Sunday, 60 degrees for the high there. Those rain showers moving in the later afternoon, evening, winds coming out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles an hour, and a 40% chance of precip there. Let's look at the 5-day precip map here. We have highlighted rain chances on Sunday and Monday. Not very much really today and tomorrow though, but we will be seeing those ramp up in the early week. Moving on to our MITS 7-day forecast. We start off in the 60s and 50s for the highs. Rain chances really the entire rest of the week. However, those are pretty scattered rain chances as well, and those will be continuing through the rest of this week. We do warm up a little bit in the mid part of next week. Look at Tuesday, Wednesday. So we are seeing a little bit of those chances for some warmer temperatures, but really dreary and gloomy though, unfortunately for us.
Tyler's beef is with the snow. My beef is with the clouds.
Well, you're the one with the blanket under the desk,
It is chilly everywhere. I mean, clouds across the board on that 7-day.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be having to take that blanket with you everywhere.
A week for the umbrella for sure.
Yeah, so obviously we're hoping that we can get some warmer temperatures, but obviously, you know, fall is here and it's here to stay.
Yep, that's what it seems like.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much.
Now, a look at your top headlines this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute.
Yeah, we're recapping last night's presidential town halls and an interesting discovery here in central Indiana. Stay with us.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at some of the top stories from this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute. President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden did not go head-to-head last night in a debate, but instead both participated in separate town halls. Biden's town hall was hosted by ABC News, while NBC News held Trump's. Originally, the two were supposed to debate last night, but it was canceled after the candidates couldn't agree to have it either in person or virtual. The final debate is scheduled for next Thursday. Confirmation hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett wrapped up yesterday. She was grilled this week over issues including healthcare, voting rights, and the environment. If Barrett is confirmed, she will succeed the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and give the High Court a 6-3 conservative majority. A confirmation vote is scheduled for Thursday. And finally, in Fishers, check this out right here. A car missing for over 20 years finally found. According to Fishers police, this car was reported stolen in July of 1988. It was spotted by a fisherman on Geist Reservoir. The department tweeted out photos with a hashtag #HideAndSeekChampion. Fishers PD said on Facebook the owner of the car has since died. And that's your Cardinal Weather News Minute here on this Friday morning. Let's go ahead now and send it over to Ryan Crump for Breaking Down the Science. Hey there, Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breaking Down the Science. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about smog. Smog is actually consists of a combination of smoke and fog. And it also consists of 5 main components, which is nitro oxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds, and the 2 biggest ones, the particulate matter and ozone. It also consists of cool air that is dry, with dry winds that creates high pressure, and a combination of warm air aloft, which acts as a lid that traps all this smog together. It keeps it close to the surface, which also gives us that yellow and orange sky that you all see when you hear about smog. It also is a primary pollutant, which is natural causes, which is plants and animals, of course trees. It also is caused by humans, which is a secondary pollutant, which is caused by car pollutants, gas, fires, and even factory fires and pollutants right there. Not only smog is, that's also how smog is created, smog is also a cause for health problems as well, which causes us people to have difficulty breathing, eyes, nose, and throat irritation, and heart disease. Sometimes, if not treated early enough, it could also cause death. Now, I hope this gives you a better idea of how smog is created. Thanks for watching the Break It Down the Science segment. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Ryan. Now, if you weren't able to pre-order a PS5, Burger King wants to give you the chance to win one. The fast food restaurant is teaming up with Sony for a contest. It starts on October 15th. Customers can get a scratch-off game token with their qualifying food order. There are 1,000 of the game consoles up for grabs, but if you're not lucky enough to win one, Burger King still has lots of food coupons you could win. We've got a lot on food this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be cool to get one of those PS5s, you know, in addition to your meal from Burger King. It's kind of cool that they're doing something like that.
Kind of, and anything food related.
Yeah.
I think we'll take in, speaking of which, as college students, we're used to living off ramen. If you still have a passion for the noodles, the maker of Top Ramen is looking for a Chief Noodle Officer. Could that be you, Tyler?
I'm in.
You get paid $10,000 to develop and test out new ramen noodle soup recipes. Plus, you get a 50-year supply of Top Ramen products. Post a picture and recipe of your own Top Ramen creation to social media for the chance to be selected. Use the hashtag #HowDoYouTopRamen. You have to act fast. Submissions are only being accepted through October 30th. I can't lie. I do like ramen. A few months of living with Tyler, I know it's the only thing possibly that he can make. And so I'd say we're a fan in our household.
Yeah, I cannot cook to save my life. By the way, question for you. Do you like adding anything to your ramen?
I've seen people add egg. I'm not that fancy. I can't lie. I would try it.
I'm one of those people, I like to add hot sauce to it. You give it a little bit of spice.
We live with Chef Brittany, who could probably add an egg in there. Any of that spice we want.
Brittany's always in the kitchen. She's cooking. By the way, we're roommates in case you guys didn't know. Annie and I are. But yeah, it's kind of fun to be able to get into the kitchen every once in a while, even though we all know I never cook.
Well, even more than food, I'm looking for some spicy weather, Jordan.
Yeah, you might need some warm ramen noodles to go with that weather out there.
Oh yes, for sure. You'll definitely need those warm ramen noodles. Look at the 7-day forecast. We're seeing cooler temperatures and rain chances continuing. Very gloomy indeed.
Yeah, it's very, very gloomy out there. It's really just not fun. You know, I know when we were walking in, it was a little cold out there.
It was a shocking chill, I can't lie.
Yeah,
and we were just a week ago. We were hitting 80, begging for it to cool down. I guess we got what we wanted.
Yeah.
Here we were dealing with a lot of warm weather, but now we got the cool weather. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Jordan, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. And that's all for Cardinal Weather this Friday morning. Thank you for joining us.
We're going to see you next Friday. We've got your latest news coming up at 11:30 on NewsLink Indiana Midday. Have a great weekend.